The story begins not with a goal, but with a balance sheet. Long after the floodlights are switched off and the echoes of chants fade into the night, football continues to breathe inside spreadsheets, contracts, and revenue streams. In 2025, the most powerful clubs in the world are no longer judged only by trophies and glass cabinets, but by profit margins, global reach, and financial dominance. This is the hidden league table, the one fans rarely see, where money decides who survives, who grows, and who shapes the future of the game. And as we count down from number 15 to number 1, you'll realize that football's real power often lives far away from the pitch. At number 15 sits a club that represents the modern blend of tradition and commercial evolution. Atlético Madrid built its identity on resilience, grit, and defiance against giants. For decades, they lived in the shadow of wealthier rivals, but by 2025, Atlético transformed stability into profitability. Smart recruitment, consistent Champions League appearances, and a strong brand rooted in passion turned the club into a reliable financial force. Their stadium became more than a fortress for fans. It became a revenue engine. Atletico's profitability proved that you don't need unlimited money to make money, just discipline and vision. Number 14 belongs to Borussia Dortmund, a club that turned youth into gold. Dortmund's business model became legendary long before 2025. Buy young, develop fast, sell smart. In an era where reckless spending destroyed many clubs, Dortmund survived by understanding football as a cycle. Their profits often came not from trophies, but from timing, selling stars at peak value, maintaining one of Europe's highest attendance rates, and staying competitive ensured consistent financial success. Dortmund showed the world that sustainability could be profitable, even in a market dominated by superclubs. At number 13 stands Juventus, a club whose financial journey mirrored its dramatic history: dominance, decline, recovery, and reinvention. By 2025, Juventus had rebuilt its profitability through global branding, stadium ownership, and disciplined restructuring. The club learned harsh lessons from overspending, and those lessons shaped a smarter future. Juventus proved that profitability isn't about never falling, but about learning how to rise stronger with better control. Number 12 is Arsenal, a club whose financial transformation quietly reshaped English football. For years, Arsenal were mocked for prioritizing balance sheets over silverware, but by 2025, that patience paid off. With a modern stadium, a young competitive squad, and a revived global fan base, Arsenal became one of the most profitable clubs in the world. Their success wasn't explosive, it was calculated. Arsenal reminded football that long-term planning can eventually outperform reckless ambition. At number 11 sits Paris Saint-Germain, a club often criticized for excess rather than efficiency, but by 2025, PSG's profitability reflected more than spending power. The club leveraged its global image, star appeal, and commercial partnerships to generate massive revenue. Paris became a lifestyle brand as much as a football club. Fashion, media, and global culture blended with football, turning PSG into a commercial powerhouse. Their profits came not just from winning matches, but from owning attention. Number 10 takes us to Tottenham Hotspur, a club that redefined modern infrastructure. Tottenham's rise into the top 10 of profitable clubs was built on steel and concrete. Their stadium became a symbol of the future, hosting not just football, but concerts, NFL games, and global events. By 2025, Tottenham earned money even when football stopped. While trophies remained elusive, financial success was undeniable. Spurs proved that modern football clubs must think like entertainment companies. At number 9 stands AC Milan, a club reborn through restraint. Once crushed by financial chaos, Milan returned by embracing smarter ownership and controlled growth. Their brand, built on history and nostalgia, regained value in global markets. Champions League returns boosted income, while commercial partnerships revived their legacy. Milan's profitability in 2025 was not about living in the past, but monetizing it responsibly. Number 8 belongs to FC Barcelona, a club whose financial story felt like a warning to the entire sport. Once drowning in debt, Barcelona faced the consequences of unchecked spending. But by 2025, the club engineered a painful but effective recovery. Wage reductions, youth development, and strategic partnerships brought stability back. Barcelona's profitability wasn't as extravagant as its past, but it symbolized survival. Their recovery proved that even the biggest giants are not immune to financial reality. At number 7 sits Bayern Munich, the embodiment of German efficiency. Bayern's profitability came from consistency. Dominating domestically, competing in Europe, and maintaining strict financial discipline made Bayern one of the most stable clubs on earth. While others chased risky growth, Bayern Bayern focused on control. Their model showed that profitability doesn't require chaos, just clarity and patience. Number 6 takes us to Chelsea, a club that learned expensive lessons in ambition. By 2025, Chelsea's profitability reflected a shift away from reckless spending towards smarter asset management. Player trading became a strategic operation. Commercial growth followed global branding efforts. Chelsea's financial evolution proved that even clubs built on wealth must eventually learn discipline to survive at the top. At number 5 stands Liverpool, a club whose financial rise mirrored its emotional revival. Liverpool turned history into momentum. Global fan engagement, smart recruitment, and competitive success fueled profits. Anfield became not just a stadium, but a symbol. Liverpool's profitability was powered by belief, loyalty, and timing. They reminded football that success and sustainability can coexist when guided by purpose. Number 4 belongs to Manchester City, a club that redefined modern dominance. City's profitability in 2025 reflected years of strategic growth. Infrastructure, global partnerships, and sporting success created a self-sustaining ecosystem. Once accused of artificial growth, City evolved into a financial juggernaut that no longer depended solely on investment. Their journey marked the moment where modern football economics reached full maturity. At number 3 stands Manchester United, a club that remains a financial anomaly. Even during sporting struggles, United's profitability never disappeared. Their global brand transcended results. Sponsorships, merchandise, and worldwide recognition kept money flowing. By 2025, United proved a powerful truth. In football, history can still generate profit long after trophies stop arriving. Number 2 is Real Madrid, the definition of football royalty. Real Madrid's profitability came from dominance on and off the pitch. Galacticos evolved into global assets. Their stadium renovation turned match days into premium experiences. Success fueled revenue, and revenue fueled success. Real Madrid stood as proof that legacy, when managed correctly, becomes an unstoppable financial force. And finally, at number 1 stands the most profitable football club in the world in 2025, a club that mastered globalization, branding, and competition better than anyone else. Their reach extended beyond continents. Their revenue streams diversified across media, sponsorships, and performance. They weren't just a football club, they were a global institution. Their profitability symbolized the peak of football's financial evolution. As the countdown ends, one truth becomes clear: profitability is now as important as performance. Football has entered an era where success is measured not only by goals, but by growth. These 15 clubs didn't just win matches, they won markets. They didn't just build squads, they built systems. And while fans will always care about trophies, the future of football will be shaped just as much by accountants as by athletes. This is the hidden story of modern football, a game still fueled by passion, but driven by profit. And as long as billions keep watching, the money will keep growing, silently deciding who stands at the top when the final whistle blows.